This is KHQA News at 10. It's your news now.
Healthcare takes center stage. A major employer and political figures address the topic in Quincy today. A new figure suggests 2 million people could be adversely affected by the ACA. Does that include you? Plus, it's filled with skepticism, but does it actually work? Communicating through a medium tonight. But first, how landlords can get away with not keeping their properties up to code right here in Quincy. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ross Green. Some cities in the state of Illinois do not have a legislation which requires and regulates renters and protects them tonight. New tonight at 10, KHQA's Allison Brown takes a look into Quincy's laws governing rental properties.
There are more than 6,000 rental units inside Quincy city limits. Some are in good condition and some are not.
There's been a lot of issues with some houses over here on 2nd Street, and they don't even look safe. The roof has caved in. We've tried to bring that to the attention of the city inspector.
Cheryl Hobson says lack of enforcement affects everyone.
They govern them with respect to minimum habitability standards, things like that, but again, we don't do a proactive inspection of those. We're a complaint-driven department at this point.
Quincy does not have a rental inspection program, but does have ordinances in place. On the city's website, it states the Office of Inspection monitors and ensures compliance with these codes and ordinances that involve maintenance of structures.
I think we're kind of unique in the size of the community we have and not having any type of a rental inspection program in place.
The only way to find out if your unit is up to code is by filing a complaint or if something goes wrong. Residents recently found out their units were not up to code at these North 5th Street apartments. But according to one resident, that was not a surprise.
We need lighting, we need wiring, we need flooring, we need bathroom things all broke. Ceiling's got a hole in it, the roof's leaking. And he just refuses to fix it.
City Building Inspector Michael Seaver later labeled the units unfit to live in. However, Hannibal does have a rental inspection program. The city hired a second inspector to take on the workload rental properties brought to the table, and he believes the inspection program is a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you know, if we weren't inspecting them, and you know, I still go in homes that have smoke detectors up, they don't work. So, you know, without doing these inspections, there's a lot of those safety issues that wouldn't be addressed and getting taken care of.
If you were staying at these apartments in Hannibal and were to have the utilities turned on, it would alert the system to check if the unit has a certificate of occupancy. Anderson will admit the system is not perfect.
The problem with that is it's too late. These folks have already moved in by the time I get that form.
But it does help to eliminate risk and holds landlords accountable, unlike the Quincy complaint-driven system.
And Quincy is a nice place to live, but sometimes over in this area it's not so nice. I sometimes don't think it gets the attention that it really needs.
Hobson has been in contact with Seaver about rental units in her neighborhood. She says you really just have to pick up the phone.
I did, and you know, I'm just Cheryl, and I can call and talk with them, so I know that that's all you have to do is pick up the phone and say you do have a complaint or an issue, and I've never found any of them that said they were too busy.
She says she's not trying to change the world, just her portion of it. Allison Brown, KHQA News, Quincy.
And you can read more about this story on our website at khqa.com. We'll throw things over to the Weather Center now. Mike, a lot of snow disappeared today, but what about tonight?
It's going to come back tomorrow morning. How about that, Ross? Can you believe it? That's right. Look at this. Watch this radar showing this storm system tracking down out of the Dakotas. And it's got its eyes right on the tri-states. It'll be here later tonight in through the day tomorrow. Very likely chances of snow as you start the day. Your morning commute to work or school will be a snowy one, and we'll see temperatures somewhere in the upper teens to around 20 degrees. We have winter weather advisories posted for much of the tri-states, and that does include Quincy and Hannibal and Pittsfield and Edina and Shelbyville and Shelbina, back on out towards Rushville there in Schuyler County, Illinois. 1 to 3 inches for much of the area, 2 to 4 for the far eastern and southeastern viewing areas, and I'll have much more breaking this storm down as we go along, that is, later in the newscast.
All right, thanks, Mike. Knapheide Manufacturing will soon open a clinic for its employees and their dependents. Knapheide plans to partner with We Care TLC. The clinic will supplement the insurance that employees currently have. In 2013, Knapheide spent about $10 million on health care. A representative for the company says this move will save the company a lot of money.
We save is, for example, I've always used this example. I went to my physician, had a procedure done in the office, had a physical while I was there. When I walked out, that cost $500. At our clinic, that cost would be probably $50 less.
The clinic is expected to open later this spring. Healthcare was also the topic of discussion for U.S. Congressman Aaron Schock during his visit to Quincy today. Schock was joined by representatives from Knapheide and Neiman Foods to discuss the effects of the Affordable Care Act on employment. A report from the Congressional Budget Office says more than 2 million jobs will be lost in 10 years. Schock says those jobs could be lost even sooner. However, a Democratic challenger for Schock's seat in Congress says the report is being misrepresented.
If you believe that 2.3 million jobs will be lost, employers like Knapheide, employers like county markets are not going to take 10 years to reduce the number of workers. If there are jobs that are going to be affected adversely because of the fine, they're going to do it right now.
Nowhere in the Congressional Budget Office analysis did they mention that workers would be cut by employers. So that's why I'm saying it's a complete misrepresentation of the actual analysis.
Employers are not expected to pay the fines attached to the Affordable Care Act until 2015. The Illinois primary is March 18th, so candidates are making a final push to gain voter support. State Representative Jill Tracy officially endorsed Republican candidate Randy Freese to take over her seat in the 94th District. Tracy is running for lieutenant governor alongside Kirk Dillard. Tracy says before she made her decision to run with Dillard, she wanted to find someone she knew could fill her seat. Freese commended Tracy for her tenure as a state representative.
This state that has been rampant with political corruption, and here's someone who has just done the job flawlessly and without any hint of corruption in her seven plus years.
He has an agribusiness degree from Western Illinois University. He's so familiar with the 4 counties that are in the 94th House District. He is a social conservative. He's a fiscal conservative.
Freese is opposed by Monmouth's Marshall Schrader in next month's primary. No Democrat is running for the seat. You see them on TV, but have you ever spoken with or through a medium? To some, it's communication beyond belief. We'll show you firsthand next on KHQA News at 10. But in a way, you have to see to believe.
You're watching KHQA News at 10 with Raja Maples, Ross Green, Chief Meteorologist Mike Cole, and Sports Director Chris Dewar. This is KHQA. It's your news now.
There are many ways to connect with people these days: the phone, Facebook and Twitter, or face-to-face. KHQA's Chad Douglas found a woman in Lake St. Louis who makes those same connections, but in a way that you have to see to believe.
Tell me what you do.
I'm a medium who connects with your loved ones who have crossed over.
Matina the medium says she's a late bloomer to this profession. She began back in the 90s doing readings on nights and weekends. Then in 2001, she decided to do it full time. Matina says she's actually had readings where no spirit has come through for the client. That wasn't exactly the case for me.
Did she also experience pain in her back?
Yeah. Before our interview, Matina says the spirit of one of my loved ones who recently passed came through.
I wonder if you get up and talk about her?
Yeah.
I want to thank you for doing that, because that was...
Some of the things Matina said made perfect sense. Some of the things I believe there would be no way for her to find out about me online.
She also talks about her... Did she have a wake?
Yeah.
Yeah. She talks about the people coming and going, and did you have, like, to make it larger or something?
A reading will usually last about 45 to 90 minutes, but she's had some that have gone on for 3 hours. So what can you expect from a medium reading?
I think that they should come into a reading expecting nothing and walking away with everything.
Shows like TLC's Long Island Medium have raised awareness of mediums, but does it always depict a reading as it is, or is there too much TV editing? What are your thoughts on that show? Does it help or does it hurt?
I think it helps.
Okay.
She is true and honest. I totally know that about her.
Matina has never met the star, Teresa Caputo, but says she knows Teresa's mentor. Matina also says that show helps out her business as well. But what about the skeptics?
Now, you could be a skeptic. If you're closed-minded, I'm going to know it.
I'm not here to convince anybody. It's not my. I'm not here to argue or try to convince anyone. People that come to me are usually referral, so they're coming because they want to.
That's Matina's friend Nancy, who is also a medium. They usually do parties together.
If it's a group of friends, like a bunch of women together, they may have a lot of fun because they like to see what I'm talking about, and they laugh and carry on. But you also have to realize that things are going to come out that you may not want others to know. So a one-on-one may be better.
Nancy and Matina say they don't really remember a lot of what comes out of a reading because their body is just a channel for spirit to use. Both will feel physical pain during a reading if spirit needs them to, but overall they have a different feeling when the reading is done.
What I actually feel from it is joy. I feel joy for you.
As for what you get out of a reading, Matina hopes you get a feeling of healing and closure, and she says you may physically feel lighter.
And there's unconditional love here.
Chad Douglas, KHQA News, Lake St. Louis, Missouri.
Now, Matina offers no guarantees with a reading. In fact, she says you should be prepared for anything because you never know what the person on the other side has to say. Well, a space heater is believed to have started a house fire in Quincy yesterday, and while many people use space heaters to heat up or thaw off their pipes, leaving them unattended can have deadly consequences. Quincy Fire Department Chief Joe Henning says fires caused by space heaters can be prevented by taking a few precautionary steps.
You talk about space heater safety, a lot of the same rules apply regardless of the type that you're using, and some simple steps are, one, you want to make sure you have at least 3 foot of clearance around the space heater, so nothing of any kind of a flammable, combustible nature within 3 feet. You also want to make sure you keep it obviously away from drapes and things like that.
Chief Henning says space heaters have been known to malfunction and also leak carbon monoxide gas. He encourages people to check their carbon monoxide detectors regularly as a result. Food pantries come to the aid of many, especially during these cold winter months, and many have benefited from the hard work of one local pantry. The Clark County Food Closet has been serving the community for 4 years. With 2 handout days per month, the closet serves around 600 families. The organization tries to make sure each person walks away with around 30 pounds of food.
We're just here to make sure everybody has everything that we can give them. And at the end of the day, when somebody walks out in tears that they're grateful because they've got food to feed their kids, that makes your day. That's all that it takes.
The Food Closet is sponsored by the Food Bank of Central and Northeast Missouri out of Columbia. The month of February can be a reminder for everyone, especially students, about the country's African American history. It's a topic of discussion this month for Teen Reach, an after-school program in Quincy. Students are researching the topic and giving presentations all month. One student speaker says he enjoys the topic because it offers something a little different.
Well, I just like history in general, but I like it because it's such a diverse and unique kind of history. It's not just the usual kind of history you might learn about in school. It's something that you can learn and really expand upon here.
About 50 kids participate in Teen Reach. The program is offered every day after school to high school, junior high, and elementary students.
Okay, well, if you like the warm weather today, we've got more of that in the 7-day forecast. And if you're more of a winter weather kind of fan, well, we've got that in the forecast for you tomorrow morning. It's all coming up next.
Now, your exclusive 7 Storm Team forecast.
Greetings, one and all. Thank you so much for watching this evening. We're getting ready for more snow outside here in Quincy and all across the tri-states as we roll through the late night hours in through tomorrow morning and on into tomorrow afternoon for many locations. Currently, well, temperatures are above freezing in many locations. We have a cold front up to the north. It's moved its way down a little bit over the course of the evening. Temperatures to the north of it in the 20s from Fort Madison back through Kirksville. We're still at 33 here in Quincy, 34 in Hannibal. However, I do think temperatures will start to fall off some as the evening progresses. Now, as we go through tonight, we're going to watch for a clipper system dive down out of the northwest flow aloft. That's going to move across the region, developing snow in our region later tonight into Friday. And it's going to be a fast-moving system, so it's going to dump a lot of snow in a short amount of time. Once again, should be out of Quincy's area by about, say, lunchtime tomorrow. Our far eastern viewing counties sometime later on by dinner. Much warmer weather will become the focus for next week. Temperatures will warm into the 40s for several days and even the 50s by Wednesday. And I'm thinking some 60s are a very good likelihood as we head through Thursday and Friday, at least for parts of the viewing area, maybe not our northernmost counties, but I think some of us will get a taste of the 60s. 33 degrees right now, not too bad out there. Clear skies, the winds are light now the west-northwest. We have 31 down in Cape Girardeau, same story in Kansas City, 33 in Springfield, 37 in St. Louis, a little cooler up to the north there in Moline, Illinois. They're at 19 degrees. So let's break down this latest winter storm system moving through the region. Right now, we're quiet and dry. By later on, say around 3 o'clock in the morning, we're going to see this snow burst onto the scene, at least the chances for some light snow. As we go towards daybreak, though, that's when the whole region will see The chances for snow sweep across from northwest to southeast. Steady light snow becoming more moderate through the morning hours. I think the heaviest snow will fall from about 7 o'clock in the morning until around noontime, and then we'll watch the heaviest stuff slide east, and the whole thing winds down by dinner time across the entire area. Forecasting 1 to 3 inches for much of northeastern Missouri, and I would be saying mainly towards the 2 to 3 inch range is what we're going to look at out of the storm system. Across the river back here east of Quincy, 2 to 4 inches, especially for the eastern viewing counties, say over towards Beardstown and down towards Meredosia, maybe east of Pittsfield. That's where we'll see the best chances for some higher totals. Nonetheless, we're going to have some slippery roads across the area as we go on through tomorrow. 16 for a low tonight. Snow develops later on, say towards 2 or 3 in the morning hours. Then as we go on through the day tomorrow, snow likely. 26 degrees for a high, winds out of the north-northwest, 5 to 15 miles an hour. More rain chances, more snow chances in the forecast region. Right now, it looks like Saturday, a pocket of energy will come through. Mainly could be snow, but can't rule out some sleet and freezing rain with that system, some rain as well, as temperatures will be hovering right around the freezing point there of 32 degrees. I'm going with 33, though. By Sunday, dry weather, a nice day, 38 for a high. We could use some warmer weather. We'll get that on Monday, 44 degrees with a chance of showers, cold rain. By Wednesday, 56 degrees and a chance of rain. That will be fabulous. Thursday, 48, easily might move that up to a little warmer back into the 50s. And I think Thursday night into Friday, we're going to see another burst of warm air come in. I think by Friday, we could taste some 60s across the area, and we'll melt some snow. So whatever we have going on out there later tonight, tomorrow, we're going to start melting that in earnest next week.
So really, if you can get past tonight, it's kind of a great forecast after that.
Yeah, Saturday a little iffy with some kind of mixed bag coming through. But outside of that, then we focus on the warmer weather.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Turn things over to sports now. Chris Dewar joins us, and you are continuing with that postseason basketball.
Indeed. Our first regional championship is in the books tonight. We'll tell you who grabbed it, plus lots of great boys action all over the place. And a landmark for Austin Rich Miller, all coming up next.
Now, from across the tri-states, this is KHQA Sports.
And the first regional title of the 2014 basketball postseason is now officially in the books, and leave it to the Illini West Chargers to make things look very easy in Havana tonight, taking on Biggsville West Central. Josie Finch and company really taking it right to Biggsville West Central, and it started with that young lady, Michaela Gronwald, on her game from distance, knocking down the triple to get it started. She had a 16-point night, and even when Michaela would miss, things would go well. Look at Gracie Bostard, robbed of the assist, but still manages to clean up the offensive rebound, put that up, and make it go. Chargers continue to attack. Shelby White with the long-distance two right here. I mentioned Josie Finch, the gunner, from outside, knocking down a triple to extend the lead. Illini West going to build, really never look back in this game. Michaela Gronwald, good stuff again from the top of the key. 3 or more of those 16 we talked about. Aubrey Carlisle, nice night as well as the Chargers get it done and advance on to the Minooka Fieldcrest sectional by virtue of a 46-29 victory. We also know next Tuesday who Grant Supernauts team will take on. It will be El Paso Gridley, who was a winner in overtime over Tremont, 54-47. Again, that is the late game coming up on Tuesday night. More for you now. Let's take a look at the girls' fun tonight over at the Brashear Tournament. Knox County and North Shelby playing for a spot in the championship game against Marion County. Madison McCabe got it started with a 3. Then Taylor Lincoln, who had 10 points on the night, knocks down a triple as well. North Shelby struggling with its scoring, but Savannah Presson right here tries to keep her team in the game. Too much of Madison McCabe, who gets the nice shot right here. Too much of Shanna Elder, who's going to attack, drive, and find her way to the cup wide open as Knox County gets it done tonight, winning big. Final count in this one was 49-15, so Knox and Marion County will go at it for the championship game. Other girls scores tonight. Highland, way too much for Louisiana, winning 63-29. We've also got the Canton girls. We'll get to them in a second. We've got Moberly going on the road, knocking off Hannibal 43-31. And now here's that Canton score. Canton losing at Keokuk tonight to the Lady Chiefs. 80-33 was your final. On the boys' side of things, what a great game tonight up at the Wright Fieldhouse. Number 3, Canton taking on Red Hot Keokuk. You mentioned Red Hot. How about this guy, Dante Davis? He's not missed of late. Another 3 right here, picking up right where he left off. Canton, though, having none of it. Down early, Tyler Neiman off the great block by Gabe McKenzie. That's Neiman doing Neiman-like things. More from Tyler Neiman. Ball right in his hands. You can't give him the run out. He will beat anybody in the Tri-States to the hole right there. Gets the bucket to go at that point. Though Keokuk still in seek and destroy mission at this one. Stephen Boyd with a long 3. Immediately after, great little tip right here to Drake Ryder, and Keokuk had the lead at 3 at that point. However, here comes Canton right back. The big fella inside, Jordan Hosdorf, going to just keep at it on the offensive glass. Beasted inside like he was Zach Randolph. Great take, eventually gets it to go. The right-handed version, obviously. Great take for him. The other end, Keokuk looking for more. Joel Howren going to finish off the pretty feed right here and get the bucket, the Band-Aid, and the three-point play. And then things got just absolutely wild. Back and forth we'd go. It'd start right here with Gabe McKenzie with a strong take, eventually cleaning up at the other end. Instantly, Johnny Dahl would answer. You will see him right here quickly with the beautiful shot right there, and then an answer. How about Tyler Neiman back the other direction to Cam Durst? Canton pulls back in front and wins big. 68-59 was your final. Elsewhere tonight, we've got Quincy Notre Dame had the lead late, but Illini West rallies. Who else? Nolan Ard with a game-winning lay-in and 14 points as Illini West rallies to get the victory. Thriller of the night took place in the Beardstown Tournament Championship game. Much delayed, Gus Vermillion with a game-winning buzzer beater at the end of double overtime to give his team the upset win, 44-43. Also at Brown County tonight, Pittsfield, huge. We'll get to them in a second. Liberty wins over Camp Point Central 60-48. And now there's that Pittsfield score behind 23 from Wade Smith. Louisiana and Highland going at it tonight. Early on, pink night for the girls tonight. Ewing very successful as the girls raised over $1,000 for cancer research. Good for them. Battle tonight of elite big men, or it was supposed to be. Tristan Castilla going up against Austin Richmiller, looking for his 1,000th career point coming in tonight, coming off a 37-point, 18-rebound game. Early on in this game, the big fella going to work, channeling his nostalgic C-Web vibe from the top of the key, knocking down the jumper there. Then it's Jack Nyson coming up here with the strong take as well. Going to go strong to the hole right here, unabated, and get the scoop shot to go. But at the other end of this thing, Louisiana about to get loose. Daylon Green, big night for him. Strong take, muscling up and getting that ball to fall. Then it's the outstanding sophomore, Zach Richardson, top of the key. Beautiful shot for him. Tristan Castilla got in foul trouble, only had this bucket in the first half. Got better as things went on. The big story for Louisiana, Marshall Corbin, 21 points on the night as Louisiana wins its 17th game of the season and wins big, 69-53. Austin Richmiller did get his 1,000th point in that one. Also on the docket tonight, Marion County looking to go to the championship game of the Brashear tournament. Reed Plunkett getting his team off to a roll here with the 3 right there. Other end, Bailey Johnson would answer with the 2, but I tell you what, Marion County too strong in this ball game. Luke Stratton wide open, knocks down the 3, and Marion County punches its ticket to the championship game, holding off very good Scotland County team tonight. 71-56 was your final in this ball game. Let's move on to college scores now. Culver Stockton upset tonight in Fayette on the road as the men fall 78-81. Also on the men's side of things, Quincy University, nice win tonight. Dalton Hoover leading the way in that game with 19 points, 7 rebounds. More winners for you and losers. Unfortunately, Western Illinois felled at home by 4 tonight by the Bison. Also on the docket, we can tell you that the Quincy University women rally and beat St. Joseph 70-60. Carly Beebe with 13 points down the stretch to help her team with the victory. Western Illinois, a winner on the road. Tori Neiman, Tori with 17 in the victory. And finally tonight, a pair from the NAIA, HLGU with a big win over Stevens down in Columbia, 64-41. And a rough loss tonight for Culver Stockton. Played really well, forced overtime. Randy Lee Plunkett, 24, 14, and 6 all-career highs. Not enough to get it done as the Lady Wildcats lose by the final count of 75-67 in Fayette. Busy tonight, even more so tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Chris. Back after this. Before we turn it over to weather one final time, Chris Stewart, one more note for sports.
Quick correction on my part. I looked at the schedule too quickly. Illini West will play its playoff game in the sectional on Monday, not Tuesday night.
Okay, thanks, Chris. And now, Mike, for that final look at the forecast. A little bit of snow tonight, but after that, not bad.
Yeah, we're going to look for 2 or 3 inches of snow probably for most of the viewers as we go through the day tomorrow. Beginning later tonight, your commute tomorrow should be sort of messy, folks. We're going to have that snow falling, some slippery roads out there, so use caution. Temperatures start to warm up next week into the 50s, and I think maybe some 60s too.
Okay, we'll take it. Thanks, Mike. And thank you for watching at home. We'll see you again tomorrow night for KHQA News at 5, 6, and 10. Have a great night.